Yeah. Oh, Derek's. Oh, shit.
I'm feeling it.
Oh, she's feeling it. What is going on? The Versus crew has returned. That's right. It's your boy, Fat Samurai Guy, hanging out once again with Derek from Flick Snacks and Nick Knacks. That's right. Martial arts stuntman, filmmaker, director, writer, all the good shit. We got Kyle Wong in the house. And he has returned, the legend, the icon, Sam from Brick Wall Pictures. Loving the background, loving the channel, loving the videos as usual.
Hey,
That's
thanks,
right.
man.
Welcome
Thanks
back.
for back.
Yeah, man. Welcome back. Welcome back. Who do we got in the house today? Movie Dojo Armor. Who we got here? Let's see. Oh, certified badass channel member John Martinez in the house. Jake Hall, Evelina, Will Thorburn, Lone Wolf. That's right. Everybody's trickling in here. And Pro. We got who else we got? We got Will, AJ in the house. Oh shit. Let's go ahead and get into it today. So I'm going to give a little shout out to the Movie Dojo Army member. That's right. You know who you are. He suggested this, that we do this. And I was just like, I thought about it. I was like, oh, that kind of works. So shout out. You know who you are. You rock. Thank you. So yeah, it's like, this is perfect because you have, in my opinion, everyone's different, but in my opinion, you have two extremely underrated, overlooked action sci-fi movies. And
Definitely.
both leads are enhanced in some way. They're enhanced, and each one of these films has their own unique look and flavor. And I was like, you know what, this is actually perfect for Versus. I absolutely love. I'm gonna come out right now. Not gonna say my vote, but I absolutely love both of these movies, man. I just got a kick. I had a blast yesterday rewatching both of these, man. Like, I had so much fun watching these things. So, without further ado, Sam, if you don't mind, let's kick it off with Hardcore Henry. Do you mind giving us a brief plot synopsis and tell us who the director is, and then just go ahead and talk about it?
Yeah,
Would you
so
like that?
I'm not the best with plot synopsis, but
You're better than IMDb.
Things
happened. There were explosions.
There's
I mean,
100%.
to be fair, it's not a
100%.
very plot-heavy movie. It's,
Right.
It kind of feels like those. It almost feels. This is gonna sound negative right when I say it, but I don't really mean it in a negative way. It kind of feels like those YouTube action sketches, but just brought to the natural extreme of it becoming a feature film.
Okay.
It's a first-person sci-fi action film with we're seeing it all through this guy's eyes, and he doesn't speak like a video game protagonist,
Yeah.
And there's like a villain for him to fight who's got like telekinetic powers and stuff, and you got Charlton Copley, who he's like my favorite part of the movie. It's almost like a one-man show with Charlton Copley.
Jimmy.
Yeah, and he's kind of like playing all these other different versions of the same person, just essentially different characters. So it allows him to show his range. I think Charlton Copley is an underrated actor in this underrated movie.
Yes,
definitely.
He's a huge talent. He's great in Free Fire too. If you want another action comedy kind of thing with him in it, cool dude. Anyway, Ilya Neischuler is the director of Hardcore Henry, and I was actually looking forward to Hardcore Henry. The what?
That's why I had you say it. I was going to botch it.
I mean, I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. That's a total guess. But I was actually a fan of this guy before he had made any feature films. Hardcore Henry was his first feature film, but I don't know how. I'm sure some of you know this already. He has a band called Biting Elbows. Yeah. He's like the front man for that band, but he's also the one who directs their music videos. Yeah. And he did a bunch of the music videos. Two in particular are very much in line with Hardcore Henry. They're like first-person mini action movies that are set to songs. There's one called Stampede was the first one, I think. And that one's like fine, but you can tell he's like new at it, figuring stuff out. And then the second one is called Bad Motherfucker, and it lives up to that title, and it is super fucking cool. Yeah. And it came out when I was in freshman year of high school or something, maybe even middle school. And I must have watched that music video, like without exaggeration, 200 or 300 times. It's super cool. And I was always thinking like, man, this is like better than most action movies, like most full-length action movies. This music video is better. So when I heard this guy's actually making a feature-length action movie, I was like, oh, there's no way it won't be incredible. I actually saw Hardcore Henry before it came out. I got a screener link to it ahead of time a little
Oh, all
bit,
right.
and I saw it and I gave like a glowing review, and then I was shocked to see that almost every other critic said it was bad. It had like a super negative review on rating on Rotten Tomatoes and Tomatoes and stuff, and it had all these like reviews just trashing it, calling it awful.
I was
And
dizzy
I
in
was
the first
shocked.
5 minutes. I got dizzy in the first 5 minutes. I couldn't finish it. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So
That's
I
not
mean,
me. That's just
yeah, I know. Yeah, the motion sickness was a real hurdle for a lot of people, I guess.
yeah.
But yeah. So and then Elia Neischuler recently he just made Nobody with Bob Odenkirk, that very
Yes.
John Wick-esque. I mean, the writer of John Wick, and it kind of feels like it could be in the universe, but it isn't really. I don't know about you guys. I like Hardcore Henry more than Nobody. I mean, Nobody was it was fun, but
Yeah.
yeah, Hardcore Henry I love. I've seen it a bunch of times. I got the Blu-ray as soon as that came out, so I could rewatch it. I might even I already did a review of it, but I've actually been thinking about doing a Deserves More Respect video about it on my channel.
Oh, you
Doing like a little
should. Those
video
are
essay
great
on it.
videos.
Because I think it's, it really is one that deserves a whole lot more respect. I think
Yes.
the action scenes are excellent. And as someone who has tried to do like first person action scenes, it's harder than you might realize to do like fighting when you can't see the person's entire body. Like that's a real challenge to a fight scene. Especially like when they're getting hit and whatnot, to follow choreography. It's like an additional roadblock to coming up with good choreography in first person versus in third person. I think the stunt work is incredible. One little cool nugget of info I remember from the director's commentary, because I do like the movie enough that I listen to the director's commentary on this one, is that when they were planning out the shoot, they had all these stunt shots on their shooting schedule, because they shot this very low budget, and this is not a way that I would ever recommend shooting. I think it's a bad thing that they did. But what they did is on the schedule, they couldn't afford the proper safety protocols, so they would put a little skull and crossbones on the schedule if they were going to pull off a stunt that day where there was like the risk of death. So obviously it's not a safe set to be on. But
they're looking at that
remember
calendar like, oh no,
Oh,
here
no.
comes another one.
Yeah. And so if you remember when they're running across the top of that bridge, there's like a chase scene. There's no safety nets or anything. They're not strapped in anything. They're literally just running across this bridge where one side is like a freeway and the other side is, some kind of waterway. And I mean, they fall off there, they're dead. And there's so many other instances throughout the movie, like the crazy motorcycle chase and whatnot. And speaking of the motorcycle chase, if that particular action sequence where the the minigun rams through the van and all that, if that little sequence feels like a music video, that's because that is kind of that's one of his band, that Biting Elbows song is playing, one of their other songs, and it kind of becomes a music video almost, where they crank up the lyrics and whatnot.
Well, this is insane right here.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
How did they do this? This is ridiculous, man.
Yeah. The choreography is incredible. I think they pulled off it's I don't know, it's almost like one of the action sequences in this movie would be enough to be the big climactic action sequence of any other action movie. And they just one after another. Really, really impressive stuff all around. No, there are some negatives. Like I said, it does kind of have that YouTube-y feel, which I don't really think is a problem. I think it's cool to see that idea pushed to its extreme. It almost feels like something like the Corridor Digital guys would make, but that's not any kind of bad thing, because those guys are awesome. They make, really cool stuff.
Any other nitpicks or things about the movie?
I hear a lot of people say it feels like a video game, and that's a negative. I don't really think that's a negative. I mean, you could call it the best video game movie.
We wish our video game movies were this good.
Exactly. Yeah.
No kidding.
I mean, Street Fighter wasn't bad.
Yeah,
hey,
but as far as actual negatives go, probably the extent of it, I would say, is it is a very slight story. There's so little story. It's all about the action, but for me, the action carries it. If you need, more character development, more story, more even just characters, there's really only 2 characters in the whole movie.
Right.
You have Tim Roth in there for 2.5 seconds, so he's nice to see.
You little pussy.
Yeah. I don't really.
I was hoping the beginning was that. I was hoping that beginning part where he says that to a young Henry. I was hoping that was it. I was hoping he never came back in the movie. That would be hilarious.
Just that's it. You little pussy.
That's it. Give it up for Tim Roth.
Yeah.
So that's it. No other issues. No things you would have tweaked or changed.
Script, but other than that, I think the action more than makes up for it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll go next. There will be spoilers, chat. Everybody watching. So for both movies, there will be spoilers. These movies been out for a while. But yeah, we saw the trailer for this and we're like, this could be really fun. So we went and actually saw this in theater, and we had a blast, man. We didn't get dizzy. We were fine. The end finale fight was so crazy, and it was more hand-to-hand combat. So that was a little like, whoa. But you could still enjoy it, and I'll get to the finale fight because it was really, really still entertaining. But throughout that, man, I mean, come on, Jimmy, man. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
this dude. I mean, Copley's just like, I agree. He's so underrated, and I love all the different characters. He kept playing in the movie. You know what I mean? Like, just every time he showed up as a new character, I think the punker, the punk dude was like one of my favorites, man. Especially
Oh,
when he
yeah.
was just going crazy outside. He just was going, fuck it, I'm just gonna attack everyone. Like that was so great.
Bat in one hand.
Yeah. Yeah, the punker, and definitely I think was it the colonel?
Yeah.
The British
Yes.
colonel was my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah, with the
I love that
beret
guy.
and
Come on,
everything,
chop.
Reminded
Let's
me
go.
of Price from
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But
That
like
goes.
he grabs the big huge Gatling gun, or the huge gun that he hands Henry, and he goes, take the big fatty. This is the big fatty.
Yeah.
You get all these funny names for the bazooka was. This is Big Ben. Yeah, the colonel was funny, man.
Well, they get outside of Akon's building, and he just goes out. Let me check. Akon is a cunt.
Yeah.
I was just like, beautiful. Beautiful. Just
There's so
yells that
much.
out.
The dialogue in this movie is great too. Actually,
Yeah.
the story, like Sam said, is weaker, but I felt like the dialogue was really strong.
Yeah, definitely. But these action set pieces, you could call this a gimmick movie, but it's a gimmick movie if you want to label it that. That's actually succeeded, unlike Musashi versus 1,000, whatever the fuck, samurai, whatever. That was I applaud the attempt, but I'll never watch it again. Hardcore Henry, you can watch a lot because when those action sequences, when you rewatch them again, you're going to pick up a lot of things that you didn't see the first time. There's just so much happening on screen. There's things happening on the side, and it's so over the top. I mean, come on, he's tied to the chair. He spits on the computer. It short circuits the computer, which releases him out of the chair. We have a song and dance scene. I mean, it's just so over the top, but in a good way, man.
In the
and
best way.
It never feels boring. It feels like a ride, a nice little fun ride. You know what I mean? And I wish video game movies were this entertaining. But did you see any behind the scenes on the finale fight, Sam?
I'm sure I did, but I don't. It's been a while.
I mean, this was nuts, especially when the villain starts levitating, like all the
that's
other
crazy.
characters,
Oh
the
yeah,
dead
he runs
bodies.
across the
They
body.
just kept
And he's-
cranking it up and cranking it up.
yeah,
I was
and
like,
They
oh my
went
god.
full video game.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he's
was like, where do you
jumping
go from
and
here?
running off the bodies.
It's
It's
amazing.
phenomenal. It's so phenomenal. But yeah, it's just a fun ride, and I haven't watched it in years. And that's what's fun about these versus episodes. Even if your pick doesn't win, it's fine. It's all love here. But
Yeah.
I had so much fun watching this yesterday, man. I was just like, dude, this is great. So again, love both these movies. I think that's all I need to say for Hardcore. Derek, Hardcore Henry.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the negatives because I don't have really any negatives, real substantial negatives about either of these movies. Like nothing that I can say takes away from the entertainment of these movies. But I will say that this most recent time I watched it, it did make me a little bit nauseous.
Okay.
And
All right.
I know it's because I'm getting old because it didn't do that to me when I saw it in theaters. Something's going on with my depth perception, but it didn't make me like so nauseous that I stopped watching it or had to pause or anything like that.
Right.
It was just like every 15 minutes I noticed I'd get like this little wave of nausea, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Well,
refocus.
That's better than the reviews I was watching.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
in the first
no.
5 minutes I couldn't take it, so I turned it off. I'm like, oh,
It's
my
better
God.
than the camera work in The Bourne Identity.
Oh god, yes.
So I mean, like honestly, and I can watch those movies too. But anyway, so this is a movie that I had been wanting for a long time before it came out. A movie exactly like this, over the top, action, first person, and it met every expectation I had. I loved it when it came out, and I still love it today. But some of the things I have to make notes, or I get really disorganized and go off track. But so I've got them over here. I love the opening credit scene. They do a couple of really good effects, like the knife going through the neck.
Yeah.
The bullet slowly going through the head. Some really crazy stuff. I mean, just looks
Bottle.
great.
Those,
Just
the super slow-mo stuff in Dread
Yeah.
3D. Remember that? It had that
Yeah.
kind of vibe to it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, same type of feel and look. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I love that. I don't know what it is about that, but I love it. And then I really like the comedy aspect of this movie. There are a lot of movie points in this movie where I like laughed out loud watching it by myself on like my third viewing. This is war, baby. And so I do have a couple things here. Let's see. I like the scene where he's trying to pick his voice at the beginning. There's a little bit of chuckle comedy there, but then there's a part where there's a lot of action going on, and then you just notice he looks down and grabs his foot because he stubbed his toe. And I was like, that's perfect because it's first person, and he's just hobbling around for a second, and then he gets back to fighting. One of the guys he's chasing turns around to him and says, "You're half machine, half pussy." And then at the end, when he writes "easy" in blood, when she's like, "How could you do this to me, Henry?" And he's like, "Reek, reek, reek," and looks at it and it says "easy." There's not much else I can say that y'all haven't said. The stunts and action are so good. I mean,
Parkour. We had
really,
parkour in
the
here.
parkour is
I mean,
great.
man.
Great, just everything about when stuff is happening, it looks, I mean, honestly, it looks great. And it's my fault for getting nauseous, and I know that, like, because there's nothing wrong with this movie. It does exactly what it wanted to do. And I also really love the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you kind of already touched on that, Sam. I like the twist, but I wish that this universe could have been explored a little bit more, because I actually really like the story, but it's just so bare bones. There's just nothing. There's nothing to it. No depth. But like, I like the concepts, and I love the villain, Danila Kovsvlosky, I think is his name. He does a great job as Akan in this, and I would like to know a little bit more about the backstory and stuff like that. But yeah, that's about all I have to say. I love this movie. The only negatives are that really like the story needs to be fleshed out a little bit better, and that it makes me a little bit nauseous now. But other than that, it's almost like perfect for what it sets out to do.
Think I'm just getting too old. Maybe I'm just too old that I got cataracts.
It's
And
cataracts.
I'm like, that's why I can watch the movie without getting sick. I'm just kidding.
Bernie Mac and Friday. It's cataract.
Cataract. Kyle, Hardcore Henry.
So it's kind of funny everyone's talking about the whole camera work and everything else. So I have to come at this at two different angles right now, because when I first saw the first trailer, when it was originally called Hardcore, and then they added Henry right after it, and as Sam pointed out, like, this was directed by the same director that did the Biting Elbows videos, and I remember watching those, and I remember my cousin sending me these videos, and I was like, this is really interesting. And I'm like, I wonder if he would ever direct a Call of Duty movie. And when they actually do this film instead, and we have that fucking guy that made Without Remorse and Sicario 2 to do a Call of Duty movie, I'll rant about that forever. Fuck that guy. Sorry. No, I wanted to see what a first-person movie would look like. We had a little bit of it slightly in District 9, like just how some of the shots of how they were showing how some of the soldiers were viewing it. And then when we get this, it was really interesting. And again, I understand how some people could be feeling the motion sickness from the camera and everything else, and just how they developed the camera rig on top of the director's head and the other three camera people, stunt guys, to actually do the movements and everything else. It's really well done. And I did not feel it because I still play some of these Call of Duty games just to get into, like, can I still do this? Maybe I can. Maybe I can. Maybe. And then next thing you know, nope, still not feeling anything. And then when I finally watch this movie like 4 more times, especially one more time for this, episode, I sat back and I'm like, still not feeling it, but I could see how like they were really trying to progress some of the story along because those little jump cuts in here and there, but also the side fact that it does feel like a live action video game movie, but it's a nice basic story.
Mm-hmm.
Then definitely Charlotte Copley is a godsend. Charlotte Copley is a godsend as Jimmy in this film. Especially, I'm still trying to figure out how they shot that dance number when they're all like singing along and dancing. Wow. And then right to the point where like you see him the first time and he's driving and telling Henry, yeah, plug this in. And then he gets shot in the head and you're like, okay, that's all we get from Charlotte Copley. And then on the bus and he's like, oh, don't worry, it's just me. We just gotta cut this out. And then he's like, that's a really, really ugly jacket. This is really beautiful. But he leans into it so well that I was
he gets
like,
set on fire.
Yeah, he gets set on fire. He gets.
It took me a couple of his deaths before I figured out, like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, wait.
Yeah.
They don't like set it up, and you just have to like figure it out.
Exactly. I love that though. They don't treat you like you're dumb. They let you figure it out. Yeah.
So I would say the negative side, since this came out in 2015, I really had to look back at it, and I have it popped up right now. And 3 years ago, there was a movie that sort of has the same kind of setup where you have an enhanced soldier and basically they, spoiler alert, everybody, that they just implanted these memories in him. And that was Universal Soldier Day of Reckoning. And as much as Day of Reckoning had like the opening as a first person view because you have Scott Adkins being beaten up and then Jean-Claude Van Damme kills his family. And then you have like a lot of fucking strobe light effects that you just go like, okay, nope. I'm trying not to bite my tongue. But you don't expect the fact that, or you see that there's like various versions of the before Henry was there. And I was like, okay, there's that. And the fact that the girlfriend actually ends up being Akan's girlfriend in the end, but he kills her in the end. I was just like, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful.
Easy.
Easy, exactly. But the thing was, right at the end, he kills everybody and then it moves on. And I was like, okay. I think that's the only thing that kind of disappointed me was it just leads to nowhere. Whereas I look at Universal Soldier where they actually had Scott Adkins kill Van Damme, but in the end, it's like, all right, so you're the person that actually did it. Okay, we're going to take out the whole government. And I was just like, okay. Either way, like, it, again.
You wanted more.
I wanted more from the ending. And just after he closes the door, it was just more or less like, where do we go from here? Like, yes, I want to see more, but I just want it. It's exactly what you said, Derek. If there was just this bare bones of a story, which yes, it worked out, but we definitely want more from it. Yeah.
I'd like to see a sequel that would be shot maybe half first person, half other angles. Or something.
Yeah,
maybe just do like some good action, like the Villainess did, with the opening scene.
Oh yes, definitely.
Will Thorburn. I made sure to go back to that to give him credit. He was the first person to mention this in the comments that it's like the Villainess in that first opening shot.
And they even did it in the reboot of Call of Duty back in 2018, where they actually like showed the cinematic, and then they go down the chopper, and then it goes into the first person view. I was like, that's how you actually introduce it. And it'd
be cool to do a sequel like that.
Exactly. Just so that way the fact that we never see Henry's face until he gets beaten the shit out of by Akan on that shard of glass.
And you barely see it. I was trying to make it out. I was like, oh, what do you look like?
Exactly.
Sam, what's the song they used during this finale fight?
I have no idea.
It's
Queen?
No,
Queen,
it's right? Queen. Yeah, it's
Don't Stop Me Now.
Having a good time. Having a good time.
Don't Stop Me Now. Especially
Don't Stop Me Now. Yeah.
If somebody came to me like, all right, this is the action sequence. We got Samurai. We got Henry versus like 30 dudes. We got superpowers, all this crazy fighting and blood and blades and butts and all this shit. but we're gonna have the Queen song playing in there.
Yeah.
I would have been
Adrenaline.
like, get the fuck out of here, dude. You're Queen, right? But for some reason, it just works with this
Yeah.
fight scene, man.
That
They
body
did it
hits
in,
the
Shaun of
ground.
the Dead, too.
Oh,
What's up,
sorry,
Sam?
Sam.
They did it in Shaun of the Dead too. The same.
Yeah.
Queen song where they have
Oh,
yeah.
there you
the
go.
pool cue smacking and whatnot.
Yeah.
Aha,
right
that's
on
right.
cue.
It's like that body smacks the ground, it starts playing it, then that first aid cabinet hits the ground, and they
Yep.
start coming in. It's like, ah.
And then
It's great.
adrenaline.
Yeah, yeah, the
Adrenaline,
legs, yeah.
Yeah. More Universal Soldier references.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else, Kyle? You just want a
No.
little bit more meat, but you enjoyed the action.
I enjoyed the action, and I enjoyed like the attempt to actually make a proper first-person film, a first-person shooter film, and I believe they did succeed in this. Like, well done, wise.
The filmmaker
sure.
succeeded, but
Yes.
Sam, did this bomb?
Did it bomb?
Yeah.
It did.
All
Unfortunately.
right, so the filmmaker succeeded, but financially it didn't.
I mean, so it
That's-
did well enough for him to like he got to make Nobody after that. In
There you
between
go.
this, he made a little short film that's kind of interesting if anyone wants to check it out. I think it's called The Medic or The Field Medic or something. It's only like a minute or two long, and I think it's in one take is the gimmick of that one.
Yeah, I don't think he's hurting for money or anything.
Okay.
Yeah. It didn't like ruin his career, thankfully.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
I think it was just very it deserved more love critically.
Nice.
I think
Now,
even
when
most
Small
people that
Pictures
hated
video
it-
come in.
Oh yeah, I think a
What's
lot
up,
of people
Derek?
that hated it that ended up having some good things to say about it too, though. Like certain, it just felt like I think everyone could feel the talent behind it, even if they couldn't enjoy any of it. You know what I
Look
mean?
at
I
this
don't
shit.
know.
These aren't hacks that did this.
No,
Oh,
this
no.
is so crazy. This
Look
is
at
so
this,
freaking
like,
crazy.
This is
That's
insane,
auteur
man.
shit right there.
How do you do
Yeah.
that? How do
I
you do
think
that
the
stuff?
problem is that there's a lot of film critics who just write off action altogether.
Yeah.
And who
And
write
horror,
off like
and
horror.
You've
horror.
seen it with
They like turn their nose up at like genre films. I think
Yeah.
that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
But I mean, it did do worse than a lot of action movies do. And it probably is
Yes.
because of the slight script. But I think part of what makes it work now that I'm thinking about it is just how relentless the pacing is. you know?
Yes.
There's so little downtime that you don't like get a whole lot of time to think about. Oh, there's not a lot of story going on here.
Yeah.
There's an action sequence, and then Jimmy makes a couple jokes, and then action sequence. There's no
Yeah.
time for. I think if it did slow down, then you would start to see the seams a whole lot more
Yeah.
in the story. But since it's so
Right.
fast, you don't dwell on any of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just a blast to watch. I had so much fun. I mean, to be honest, if I ever made, who knows, maybe in one day I'll have you guys help me with it. But if I ever made like the greatest 100 action movies list or something like that, hardcore would definitely go on here.
Yeah,
would
mine too.
Yeah, it'd be right up there close at least. It's definitely that quality.
Why?
Jimmy.
This is bull, baby. Sorry.
Austin Powers on crack cocaine.
Yeah.
There you go. I like to see with the girls, man. They're like, we know a way we can get a rise out of them.
Yeah.
And Jimmy,
It's
the other
just like
Jimmy
this-
comes in,
They
totally
milk-
cock
they-
blocks them.
No pun intended. They milked every bit of that scene.
Being in a brothel, yeah.
They milked every bit of that they could.
But
They're
yeah,
like, oh,
this
look at this! Look at this! Look at this!
To me, this is a real crowd pleaser, definitely. So, hey, if this guy keeps it up, man, he did this and he did Nobody, and if the next like 3 movies he makes are like the fucking shit, this guy might be one of our favorite action directors of all time.
He's on the verge,
yeah.
man. He's on.
He might.
The
It may
verge.
just take one more movie, really.
Yeah, I think one
That's-
more solid action
Yeah.
flick and he'd be,
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm
Definitely.
already
I agree
pre-sold
with
on whatever
that.
he
Yeah,
does.
so good.
Oh, yeah.
so good
Oh, yeah.
for so early in his career.
Oh yeah.
All right, Derek,
Okay,
upgrade.
upgrade from 2018. This is an Australian movie. Okay, I'm going to read this synopsis, and then if I disagree with it, I will let you know. A brutal mugging leaves Gray Trace paralyzed in the hospital and his beloved wife dead. A billionaire inventor soon offers Trace a cure, an artificial intelligence implant called STEM that will enhance his body. Now able to walk, Gray finds that he's also has superhuman strength and agility, skills he uses to seek revenge against the thugs who destroyed his life. No, that's it. Okay. This is directed by Lee Wanell. Little inside joke there. And it is a Blumhouse production, actually. I'm finding out now. I did not know that until just this very minute. And it had a budget of $3 million. Okay. Now, with that being said, let's start off with the things I absolutely love about this movie. This
All right.
has some really cool and insanely terrifying technology.
Mm-hmm.
About an hour in, I Googled this movie to make sure what the actual categorization of it was, because I'm like, am I watching a horror movie? Like, this movie got scary. Like, I'm scared. But I want his wife's car, though. The acting from Logan Marshall Green, who is an Australian actor, I believe. I should have made sure before I said that.
Yeah, and he's not Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
He's not Tom
Discount
Hardy.
Tom, discount Tom
Hardy.
Hardy.
You gotta be clear
since
about that. He's not Tom Hardy.
He's not Tom Hardy. And since you said that, I'm going to jump right here to another point I had. People compare this movie to Venom. And the reason is because the actors look so much alike. They do.
It's the better Venom.
Right. They only compare it because they look alike and they're taken over by something and there's horror type elements. But to be honest, these movies couldn't be more different. And this movie is way better than Venom.
Oh yeah.
And they actually came out at the same time.
Yeah.
Too.
Same year.
I didn't think about that, but 18, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Scary.
And because of Prometheus, me and Lady Fabblood, we used to call him Diet Tom Hardy or Discount Tom Hardy. We stopped after this movie.
Yeah,
I was about to say I've been
The Invitation. Any of you see that?
Yes, I did. The Invitation's really good.
Really long.
Yeah,
he's
really good in that too.
He doesn't look as much like Tom Hardy in that one.
Yeah.
No, because of the hair.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I got myself off track. But the story in itself here isn't real unique. Honestly, it's your very, very stereotypical revenge story and ending, to be in twist and everything, to be completely honest. But the way that they did the camera work combined, there's so many things that went right with this movie. Okay, the camera work, the acting, the technology that they put into this movie, the futuristic technology, it makes this so unique and special. Like the story, this typical story of revenge is used so often because it's so relatable and it's so good. And you get tired of it when people do it the same over and over. But this is not done the same way. This is done completely different. Same story, completely different, it's just completely different vision. And it's done as good as you can possibly do it. This is one of the few movies I've watched in the last couple of years that brought a lump to my throat. I almost cried watching this movie. We're doing spoilers. When his wife is shot and he can't move. And he's saying, baby, I'm trying to get oh my God. I was like, no, please don't do this to me. I did not expect this.
And she died with her eyes open looking
at him. Oh my God. So tough to watch. Just knowing what that, or not knowing what that could feel like, but just trying to put myself in that situation. It's unimaginable. And watching his process for the next few scenes and him trying to kill himself with that overdose. Yeah. With him sitting there saying, unsuccessful. I forget what he says, but it's like unsuccessful. Try again. And oh my God, I was like, this is hitting hard.
That midnight medication or something like that. He kept saying.
Yeah,
something like that.
Exactly. It was hitting me hard. I don't know. So like it hit me definitely a lot deeper story wise than Hardcore Henry did. But just in that aspect, at least it has an emotional aspect to it that a lot of films that try to don't, and I don't know how hard this one tried to do that, but it did. One of the my favorite scenes in the movie is when the guy's attacking him and he's like kind of hesitant to use the stem maybe for the first time, and then finally the guy's like, he's got a knife, and Stem's like, we have a knife too, and just boom, it just takes that knife. I was like, oh my God. And that's kind of when I realized this is gonna go in a really bad direction pretty quickly. Like Stem is too badass. he's gonna fuck too many people up and the wrong people. In the elevator scene when Benedict Hardy's character, he did a great job in this too. He wasn't in it as much, but he sees them through the wall coming up through the elevator and shoots him through the wall, and the blood comes out through the wall and stuff. Which I don't know how that would ever happen, but it's super cool. And I guess if I would have to say anything negative about the movie is just really nitpicking would be it's predictable. At least, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say because it does have a twist, but at least for me, as soon as they introduced, I had his name because I wanted to shout him out, Harrison Gilbertson, who did a great job in this role. And I actually thought he was Dane DeHaan.
Oh yeah.
You know, I thought it was
first-
Dane DeHaan until you just said that.
Yeah.
Really?
It's diet
Okay,
Dane
I thought it
DeHaan.
was Dane DeHaan too.
Thank God, because I was like, this is, and then I looked up the movie and I was like, that's not Dane DeHaan. Okay. But
It's
So
he
it's
does
not
David
Tom Hardy,
DeHaan.
and it's not Dane DeHaan.
he acts just like him, looks just like him. It's crazy, but
Sounds
he did
like
a
him.
great job. Yes, sounds like it. He did an amazing job in this movie, even if he was just doing his best Dane DeHaan impression. But I like it was a little bit predictable, like I said, and the story's not super unique.
Even the ending was predictable. The very last shot.
No, okay.
Okay.
Are we okay? I forgot we're doing spoilers. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
we can do
No, the
spoilers.
very, very, very end is not predictable, and I loved it and hated it at the exact same time. I was like, this is how this would end. Stim is the superior being. He's going to take over. That's how. There's no other way this ends realistically, other than Stim eventually taking over. And so, yeah, you're right about that. I just meant with like the twist with Garrison's character, where when he's first introduced as like this shy scientist, like, this is just, I wanted to help you. I was like, yeah, bullshit, dude. You killed him. You killed her. I knew it. But other than that, that's all I have to say bad about this.
All right.
And it's not even that bad. Honestly, I'll just say I feel like if you're talking about underrated movies, I cannot off the top of my head think of one that I'd put above this in terms of underrated.
It is. We did the trailer reaction a long time ago, and we were losing our minds because we were like, "What the hell is this?" People were sending us the link. React to it, do it. Oh my god! And we're like, "What the hell is this?" Oh, diet Tom Hardy's in here. Okay.
When they do that camera angle when he pops up and it's like,
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
what?
right here.
Yes.
Here.
But that's the shot. Yeah.
There you go.
That's it. Yeah. So good.
It's so good, man. Camera work is great. But yeah, we lost our minds. And this movie's just a little bit extra special because we like little sleeper hits. You know what I mean? Like sometimes movies that come out of nowhere and they're a lot more smaller scale, and you're tired of the same old blockbusters. I mean, Kyle talked about this last night.
Yeah.
That it's nice to like, wow, what is this? You get more impressed by the little guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you root for the little guy, which is why I wanted to do this video with you guys to show some love for both these movies, but especially Upgrade, because I have constantly come across people that have, they hate this movie. They hate this movie, right? Hardcore Henry people, they couldn't finish it. Upgrade people hate. It's very rare. It's extremely rare I've come across a movie lover or filthy casual, as Kyle says, and says, and they like absolutely love the movie. It's rare that I come across somebody like that, because the more people I talk to, they hate this movie with a passion. They call this movie trash. I've heard people say, Upgrade, oh, that was garbage. That was trash. And you know why? It's because of that motherfucking ending, which is why I love it.
Well, those people can go. They can go. You know what they can do? They can wait till next week and find out which movie makes the most money at the box office. And then they can just go blindly buy their ticket to see that bullshit with their happy Cinderella ending, because this is real.
Yeah, I loved it. Me and Larry Fablo were like, "Yo, did the movie just end that way?" Like it stayed with us when we left the theater, when we got to the car and did a little bootleg vlog review. It stayed with us, man, and we were like, "Yo, they actually had the balls to keep an ending like this," because they could have had a Disney ending if they wanted to.
Of course,
they could have. And I applaud movies that take chances. But that's really the reason why people hate this movie. It comes down to the ending. They can't.
My wife would hate it.
Yeah. Yes. They like Super chat, motorcycle. Thanks, brother. Thanks for supporting the channel. Stem was kind of good to him in the end. Gave him his version of heaven. That's kind of true. Wife alive and he can walk. Stem didn't have to though. Could have just been erased. That's true if you look at it that way.
Yeah.
He kind of looks out for the character, but
He kind of likes
he
him
still
in his
does.
own
He's
robotic way.
He's in a
Yeah.
friendly prison. He's in the Matrix in
Yeah.
a way. So
Exactly. Yeah.
we got
The sequel.
Lee B. Golden from Film
Nice.
Combat Syndicate coming in. What's up, brother? There you go. Lee one now deserves to go places. Yes, definitely.
Both of these directors do. Both
I
of them.
enjoyed.
I feel like
I
Winell already
enjoyed
has gone places,
Invisible
right?
Man.
Like he
Yeah,
got into the
Invisible
game
Man.
with Saw, and that pretty
Yeah.
much put him on the map. And
Well,
then I know he didn't
yeah.
like branch out on his own really until
Was it
until
Saw? Was
Upgrade
it
here. But then he went and did Invisible Man.
Insidious
And that was
3 or
huge.
something like that, right?
Yeah,
He did-
Insidious 3 as well. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. But then I mean, Invisible Man was huge.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
great too. Great
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Great.
Yeah, that's a good point, Sam. It did do well. Invisible Man. But yeah, we just not expecting, the badassity, especially when this fight happens. We were in the
Yeah.
theater like, are you fucking kidding me right now? This is phenomenal, man. Like this is like really good. It just scratched the itch. It was, it had a lot of gore, and it was of course Hardcore Henry has
Look at him
tons of
head
gore, too.
down. Just let
Yeah.
he doesn't
Yeah.
even want
It
to.
just
That's when he
Did you
doesn't
guys
even want
know-
to
I
watch
never
the
looked into behind the
violence.
scenes on this. Did they do some kind of like face replacement with not Hardy on someone else's body doing the stunts, or is he just that good at like doing choreography while
don't
having
know.
his face look like he's terrified? Or,
I
like,
don't
think
know. I'd
he's-
have to
Okay.
that's
look
really
behind the
impressive
scenes.
if it is him. I never
Yeah.
looked into it.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I
definitely.
do know that I've watched a video of somebody that's a good YouTuber that said that they are a really big fan of his, specifically over Tom Hardy because of his acting ability. I don't know if that answers your question, but I've heard that he is like a very, very
It might be
good
him.
actor.
Yeah,
just
it
in
might be him
general.
doing at
I
least
mean, he's definitely a
most
good
of
actor.
it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just-
Right,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Because
But
I
with
mean, it's extra impressive if he can,
Mhm.
because like choreography is like this whole other animal, outside of like, the more like traditional acting, I guess,
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, there's a really interesting combination of physical performance with like
You're
his
exactly right.
facial emotive performance.
Like he's
Yeah.
like, oh no, while he's
Yeah.
doing it. That would be so hard. I
Yeah.
couldn't do it. I know I
Yeah.
couldn't do it. But
Yeah, but yeah, I love this movie. I love the cyberpunk vibe. I love the soundtrack. It just scratched the itch, man. It worked, and it came at a time where I was getting burnt out on a lot of these pointless, generic, bland, vanilla blockbusters we get, man. I was like, thank
the John
fucking
Wick.
God.
Yeah.
All
Which
right,
John
Sam,
Wick is great, but still.
go ahead, Sam. Upgrade.
Oh, okay. So I don't want to spoil my vote too much, but I will say that I love one of these movies and I really like the other one, but I don't
Okay.
love both of them.
Okay.
I have more problems with Upgrade than with Hardcore Henry. I do still like it a whole lot, though.
Yeah.
But I guess first I'll start in a way that's going to seem very very tangential, very off the beaten path here. Do any of you know the movie The Diving Bell and the Butterfly? Did if you know that movie? It's like this French heavy drama. I think it's a Julian Schnabel film, or I might have the director's name wrong. But it's a true story based on this guy's autobiography, the guy who was like the editor of Elle magazine. And he got this syndrome called locked-in syndrome, where he became like bedridden and he could only move his one eye and the rest of his body was completely immobilized and he had no control over the rest of his body. So the entire time I was watching Upgrade, I was just thinking, oh, this guy's locked-in syndrome. He's the protagonist from The Diving Bell and the Butterfly if he was somehow thrust into like RoboCop or something.
Right,
And,
right.
I was wondering, oh, maybe that's how they pitched this. I don't know. But
Really,
I like that about it. I think it's interesting.
before you continue, Sam, can you answer this question? Thanks, Motorcycle, for the super chat. Or you guys can jump in too, Derek or Kyle.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is I just replied. Oh, I'm sorry, Kyle.
No. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All I was gonna say is I just replied to him in the chat. This is just a theory that popped in my head right now, not something that I've thought of over time, but maybe he just always could and just decided to observe so he could fit in more naturally when he decided to take over.
And that's actually the truth, because he does say it in the end, where basically he chose gray because like he's the only one that wasn't upgraded like everyone else.
Right.
Like
He was already disabled. Yeah.
yeah, he was
Right,
already
right,
disabled,
right.
so that way he could actually control his body. So basically,
Right.
it's
That's
not really
fantastic.
plot hole. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. I didn't see it as a plot hole either. I see
Mhm.
how people could though. So
Mhm.
I hope
Right.
that answers your question, Motorcycle.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah. Okay. So the fights are incredible, of course. I think a lot of it is the camera work, the like motion controlled camera work that sort of perfectly matches his movements. I think that's incredible. We already talked about his performance during that. I think it's also incredible.
Yeah.
I don't think I would actually call this like an action movie. I don't know if that's what you guys call it. There's like it's like a sci-fi film that has really good action in it. I would say not. I don't know. I think the quantity of action is a little light if we're going to be, considering this a straight out action film through and through. But I mean, regardless, the action scenes are excellent. I think my problems with the film come in. I kind of have two main areas. One of them is the world building, which I think is at least partially owed to the budget because it's a pretty low budget for what it is. I mean, Blumhouse is their kind of whole business model is they get small budgets and they make a whole bunch of shit and they throw it all at the wall and see what sticks, And this was one that stuck more than a whole lot of their other stuff. But so I think the sort of lesser world building, what I would want more of, I think that's mostly owed to the budget. But I think part of it kind of feels like the world building. It feels like the sci-fi world isn't like unique to the story. It feels like it's kind of just borrowing the collective sci-fi world that like we think of when we think, oh, sci-fi. It triggers these things in our mind rather than it being a like thought out universe that naturally developed from the technology that we know is in the universe that's unique to this story.
That's
Maybe
fair.
that's a little too I don't know. That might be a little too nitpicky or something.
No, I
but
don't
it's
know. I
just
think
something
that's
I would
fair.
want a little more of.
No,
something
being
like to feel a
nitpicky.
little
Yeah,
more
Versus.
unique, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My other main issue with it is I think the like general story structure. I think it follows. It feels a little too simplistic as far as like story structure goes. Like it follows. If you guys are familiar with like the hero's journey, the Joseph Campbell stuff, it follows that to like a very cookie cutter degree to the point where it makes like every plot beat. You can just see it all from a mile off from like, the minute the opening credits play. You can just know like every beat of the movie, barring a few like plot twists. But even those, I think, you can kind of see them coming. But it's just kind of like, okay, here's the meeting with the goddess. Here's the rejection of the call. And you just kind of like go through those standard beat by beat. And there's not really any kind of, it didn't feel like I was doing anything fresh in that regard. For me, what felt fresh about the story was just kind of the way those fight scenes were shot. Everything else felt like stuff I had seen before.
That's fair, I guess.
Yeah, everything else in it. So that's kind of my issue. Is just like there's not really anything that's like bad about it. It's just it doesn't excel in many areas to me outside of those handful of fight scenes.
Okay.
Now, how did you feel about the ending?
I don't want to sound too negative on it. I like the ending. The ending works well.
Okay, cool.
That's cool. All right.
That's fair.
Kyle.
That's all fair.
Kyle.
Okay, so I'm
downgrade.
I'm gonna basically
kidding.
do an amalgamation of what everyone has said. So, Samurai, you have said it has been like 2018 is a huge I don't want to say a clusterfuck, but it was. Black Panther was out. Avengers Infinity War was out. We were gonna get Venom later on. Also, we were gonna get Spider-Verse. We were gonna get into the Spider-Verse at that time too. Bohemian Rhapsody. All these fucking movies were coming out in 2018. That's what the crazy part is. And the fact that we got like a trailer for fucking Sicario 2. The fact that I mentioned Sicario 2 earlier, it just came fucking back and I'm just like, can you just leave me alone, fucking Sicario 2? Because I wanted that movie to be good.
Right.
But that movie did not give me the ending like how Sicario 1 was.
Right.
I know that's a huge rant right now, but fuck you, Sicario 2. But this movie, I remember seeing the trailer for it, and I was like, you know what? I want to give this a chance. It looks definitely somehow better than Venom. And I remember that it was only 1 week that this movie was released in my local theater, and I took my DOP friend Daryl with me to watch it, and we just sat there watching it, and we were just like. Then the ending happens of what we just looked at each other and just went, "What the fuck just happened?" We need to get this movie on DVD and we need to watch it with everyone else. And we sat down and watched it with
Look at that. Yeah,
my whole crew.
Acting.
And all I could say is when I remember watching this film, yes, as Samurai has said, it is very formulaic. It is very formulaic, but it's all in the execution of how it's approached. And the fact that, yes, it's Blumhouse. They know what they are, like low budget, but at the same time, the fact that they approached, like, they always approached horror the same way. Like, they always made the paranormal activity movies, fucking has. But the fact that they had this film, the fact that they gave money for Lee Whannell to do The Invisible Man after, and then also doing The Hunt, the fact that they helped produce The Hunt, and I was like, man, they really know how to do action in a certain way. And then the fact that Lee Whannell came from Saw, Insidious, and then decides to do a sci-fi cyberpunk film like this that has the elements of like old school Paul Verhoeven violence with this.
There you go, right here.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was great.
And you get moments like
Halloween
guy
Kills.
just loading his arm with shotgun shells, and I'm just like, holy fuck, this is insane. And the fight scene. So I'm gonna come about this at the standpoint. It is possible for an actor to actually do the fight choreography if he so chooses to. And the fact that there is acting, if you look at Hong Kong action cinema in the 80s and 90s, there is acting here and in the body too. Mm-hmm. And that's how you express it compared to.
That's why it hits different.
That's why it hits different. And if you notice, Samurai, please pull up the first scene where he fights off against the first brother before he cuts his face. If you watch him like move his neck, that's a small acting moment where this is mentioned in the whole IMDb so that apparently he could not move his neck because when he got shot there. That was a whole acting moment that they had to add that little element that Sam has to move his neck because he can't move his neck any other way. So the fact that that's little tidbits of acting and just how, because Gray is not like, he's not used to this at all. And the fact that he's fighting and letting his AI take over the body, that's really genuine. And especially that genuineness of his acting where he's like, I'm going to throw up. I just killed someone. And then he goes throws up in the sink. I was like, yeah, you would react to that.
He's a fucking ninja.
Yeah, he's a fucking ninja. Or
he just watched himself do something incredible and terrifying.
Exactly. Especially when he's like going with the knife to the second.
He's like,
no. Like, Stam, can you take over? Yep. And you just hear the knife sounds.
And he looks away.
And then there's blood on him right after. I'm like, that's nice tidbits. And then the bartender is the most nicest guy ever. Just like, here's a straw, here you go. And then he's like, no one should ever make fun of a disabled person. And then he just strolls out.
He tells those other people, it's not my business, man.
Yeah. And I'm
death by sneeze.
Death by sneeze. That guy should not have died. That bartender should not have died. But the fact is, like, the fact that Stem chose Gray because he was literally the only human, aside from his wife, the fact that Stem was evil enough to actually, like, I need this body to do whatever I need to do. I want to kill her first. So it gives him a motive to take out all these guys because I don't like how these people are upgraded. Mm-hmm. And he states that at the end. And the fact that there was like little hints leading up to this moment, to the ending that everyone hates, some people hate. And I'm just like, this is what shocked me when I was watching this film. When I first watched it and he had to go see the hacker, Jamie, and they mentioned about the VR thing. I'm like, there's a reason why they're showing this. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm going to hate it or I'm going to love it. But when it gets to the point where he's struggling to not shoot the cop and he says, I'm in control. And then it cuts to him in the bed. I'm like, you fucking did it. You fucking did it. It's all a fucking VR dream, isn't it? It's all a fucking VR dream. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna be mad. You guys did it. You guys fucking did it. And then you hear the cop's voice. I'm like, oh no. And then it cuts back to him. Cuts back to his body, but Stem saying, Gray's not here right now. His mind broke.
So good. His mind broke.
I put him in a better place. And that's why I was like, you guys did this ending and this is fucking crazy. And then he kills the cop in the end and then just walks away while Gray has his own happy ending. I'm like, that's really well done. And that's why I'm very pissed off at Sicario for not ending it where they should have ended with Benicio del Toro dead. Instead, they just like, so you want to be a Sicario? I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you.
I don't know. I like the ending. I don't know. I kind of like the ending of the second one. You're gonna hate me, I guess. But
no.
fine.
This is why we have discussions. But I just hate that ending.
Exactly.
But when the fact that Stem just walks away now being in a body, and the fact that we are getting a series to continue this,
yes,
it's worth like wanting to watch this, even though like you have to be in a mood to watch like certain movies. This one you could just watch and say this was made with only 3 mil. And the fact that they had this condensed world, and even though yes there's a little bits and pieces of like who do we have to stop with, what Jamie says, we can't be like them or anything else, and I'm just like, okay, I could see what you guys are building here, just like how Dredd was built, just like how standalone movies were built. This one had a good standalone where it's like there is more to offer. The fact that this movie had so many positive reviews also to the fact where you almost want to see how can they continue this. And the only negative I would say is just that bartender should have not died. that bartender. yeah.
Fuck Logan's wife. You know, like the bartender should have lived.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, I know. The bartender just should have lived. That's.
But
only...
this is what everybody wanted. You know, everybody wanted the Disney ending.
Yeah, you're right. I got a question. I got a quick question for Kyle, since he brought up a really good point. If it wasn't for Iron Man and the development of the MCU, do you think this is a movie that's way more talked about?
Okay, so that's a good point, because that's when Infinity War had their big like ending right there where the snap happened. And the fact is, like, the fact that you brought that up and the fact that I brought it up, that Infinity War came out, I'm like, yeah, if Blumhouse wasn't as known as what it was, especially marketing this film too, like, this film should and could have had like a bigger following if we didn't have Infinity War.
And Infinity War.
I would say Infinity War, because Infinity War literally stayed in theaters all throughout that time and just killed everything, killed all the hopes, because again, the mass general audience will definitely see more Marvel than.
And I did at the time. I was one of them at the time. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
yeah, I got no issues with Infinity War.
Me neither.
I actually love the ending of Infinity War. I loved everyone's reaction in the theater. I was immediately we were laughing. We were internally laughing like, everybody was like, no, man, when they gonna kill Spider-Man? Man, this is bullshit. Like the theater reactions were hilarious.
I was me and my wife sat there and I was like, wait, that's not it. No, she's like, so let's go. I'm like, no, let's not go.
You stay, and the fact that I had fatigue from the whole Marvel, just the whole comic book film era,
right.
That one was just like, okay, I felt that, and especially when you hear, I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
Oh, no,
when I say that, everyone just like, Kyle, why did you do it that way? But at the same time, I was like,
actually, I know we're getting off track with MCU rant, but to be honest, though, they're lucky they even got the first Avengers movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about it, just because Iron Man was a hit, that didn't mean anything, man. Exactly, Iron Man 2 wasn't that great.
Robert Downey Jr. is like
Thor could have failed, like bombed.
Especially
Captain
how
America
it almost did.
Bombed.
It almost did.
It almost did. And especially Incredible Hulk really did not do them well.
Bombed, and it shouldn't have, but it did.
Yeah.
But
I want to
join us next time for the MCU film discussion in the screen.
This is all I want to say. This is my last point before people vote and everything gets settled. Upgrade had a budget of $3 million.
Okay.
And Hardcore Henry had a budget of $16.8 million.
Damn.
Which
Hardcore
blew
Henry
my mind.
had 16.8?
$8 million
Wow.
budget, which I don't know how a first-time director who does parkour videos on YouTube gets that, but he did.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, good, lucky for him. Wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty.
And he used it well. I'm not
Yeah.
saying he didn't, but
Yeah.
still.
And I think
I honestly thought it was less than Upgrade, to be honest.
I did
thought it
too.
was a lot.
I did too. That's why I looked it up. I was hoping to like have a slight
Wait,
argument.
where'd you find your thing? Because I just Googled it and I see Hardcore Henry's budget was $2 million.
Hang on. Let me look. Maybe I read the wrong thing. Let me see. Maybe I read what it grossed.
Not that this is going to
Okay.
affect the
it
vote or
grossed
anything.
16
Exactly.
million.
No, that was the box
Yeah,
office.
it grossed 16
Okay.
million.
There
Yeah,
you go.
but it's
I-
2 million.
When
Yeah.
I expand it, it
All right.
shows the budget. There we go.
Okay. So it's $1 million less. Okay.
Yeah.
All
That's kind
right.
of what I figured.
All
I was
right.
so sorry.
It's time to vote for fun because we love both of these movies. Doesn't matter which one wins. Some people take it personal. Don't. We're here to have a good time. All right. Let me go ahead and get the vid vote, our guest vid vote.
Yes.
That's right. The amazing artist who's been on the channel here before. I love this guy's artwork, man. I wish I had room to buy all of it and hang it out. But we got the great Dan Mumford. That's right. He's voting for. He's gonna be a little guest vote. Let's get it.
Okay, so if it's between Hardcore Henry and Upgrade, it's for me. I think I lean towards Hardcore Henry. It's just in my memory more of a fun film. It's been quite a while since I saw it, but I actually went to see it in the cinema, and it was a very visceral experience on the big screen. And it's a crazy film, but I think I would have to go for that. Upgrade is also amazing. I love the fight scenes in it, but the fact Hardcore Henry has this idea, the point of view sort of thing, and it sticks to it, and the whole way through, if my memory serves me correctly, it is that, and it does it, and it doesn't really deviate from it. It's a really fun film, and if I had to rewatch a film, I think that's the one I'd go for. Yeah, my vote's for Hardcore Henry.
Nice.
All right, look at that. Look at that from Dan the Man. Information for his artwork and Instagram page is in the description box below. But yeah, it was awesome.
Nice.
Dan showed up. We're going to be doing a video soon. We're going to be talking about Predator 2, so stay tuned for
Nice.
that one. All right, Derek, who you got, man?
Okay. Well, I've got the pin ready, and I've got one marked down for Hardcore Henry. So let's see. Okay. If we're going to break down and compare specific aspects of movie, this would be a little bit more difficult for me because they both do so many unique and cool things that haven't been done before. Even if they struggle in other areas, I feel like they're both two of the most underrated action movies of all time. That's why I was so excited to do this episode. But I think Upgrade is up there with the most underrated movies of all time. Like I said, ever. I'd give, and I do all my things on like a score, and I can't help it. Once I see a movie, like a score pops into my head. I gave Hardcore Henry a 7.8 and Upgrade a 9.2.
Okay. All right. Copy that. All right. This is good. That's a good rating for Hardcore Henry. But yeah, Upgrade your choice. Kyle.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Damn, this one's hard, but you have Charlton Copley. You have this nice FPS feel. And the fact this film had fucking Kali Ma happening. It got the heart pumping. And I can't believe this movie had it. So I'm going with Upgrade.
All right.
I'm going with Upgrade because the fact that as much as Hardcore Henry was fun,
yeah,
Upgrade sticks with you. It really does stick with you. So I'm with Upgrade.
You just
right. you faked this out there.
You mind fucked me.
There's
discombobulated.
Sam.
I think I might have already given my vote away a little bit, but I mean, I like both films a whole lot, but there's one that I love, right?
The Outsiders.
No. Okay. So, I mean, I watched Upgrade and I was like, okay, that's enough for me. I'm good with that. I don't feel like I really like watch it again or anything. Right? Hardcore Henry, I have watched repeatedly and I could watch it again right now. It's a movie I'll keep coming back to. My vote's Hardcore Henry.
Venom.
All right,
one for Venom.
Right. All right. He said one for Venom.
Universal Soldier. Universal Soldier. Damn right.
All right. So what is the score, Derek? What do you got?
We
now?
got 2-2, man.
2-2.
2-2.
Oh my goodness. It's up to the samurai guy. Yeah. Hardcore Henry is phenomenal. Extremely underrated. But I gotta steal what Kyle said, man. It just kind of sticks with me, man, and it kind of still does. So, and I like movies that go against the grain and the rebels. So my pick is. Oh, sorry.
It's a new, better brain. I call it STEM.
No.
That's crazy. Oh!
You had a little bit of woo Tyrone madness.
Oh man, today was fun, man, and I love Hardcore Henry. I really do. This was really tough. It's really tough. If Upgrade had that sweet ending, I would have picked Hardcore. If it had a Disney ending, I would have picked Hardcore.
Yeah.
But love Hardcore, man. But I regret this to this day. So after our trailer reaction, they actually contacted us, the studio, and they used us for the little advertising bit, which was fine, which was really nice. It was nice for them. Showing us knuckleheads, and but what I still regret it to this day, man. They then contacted us afterwards to go to the premiere of the movie in Hollywood, and I said no.
Why'd you say no? What, just it was a hassle?
No, it was right down in Hollywood, and me and Lady Fat Blood, we had to be, we can't miss work. We gotta be good citizens, and we gotta go
reasonable
work,
adults.
Yeah, we
Making
had to
money
adult.
sucks.
We had to adult, and I regret it. I regret it to this day, man. It would have been fun to go down there and see everyone and watch the movie in theater and all that stuff. But it's still fun to talk about it now.
What did the whole Dojo Army vote?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
well
let's
the public voted for. You always have to.
I saw this. I already saw this right before.
You already seen it? Okay,
Yeah,
hold on. Boom.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's a very large margin.
I feel like
Hardcore Henry could have at least got up to 50.
It's underrated even in the poll.
I felt like 40-60 either way I would have been cool
So
with.
Sam has all the motivation he needs is to do his movies that need more respect episode.
Yeah, I'll get this. I can even include this in it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Don't badmouth me,
Make sure you
man. I'm coming after you. Samurai Guy doesn't know what he's talking about. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Copyright strike. Take your channel down. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, feel free, man. Feel free to have fun with it. Yeah, use the examples for sure. Phil Lee says upgrade for life. Upgrade army for life. There we go. Oh, it's all good to go. All right. So, hey, this was a blast. It was a fun. Hey, subscribe to Derek. That's right. Flicks, Snacks, and Knickknacks. Subscribe, show support. He's got a great channel. Make sure you follow Kyle's work in the description box below. Subscribe to Brick Wall Pictures, son. That's right. Sam is the man, the legend. Subscribe to him. Watch his content. He's very knowledgeable. He knows his stuff.
Check out my book too if you want.
Yes, show the book.
I don't have a copy on me here, but it's in the description of all my videos.
What a terrible plug.
Yeah, okay, I'll plug it a little better.
You know what I'm going to do?
Post-apocalyptic revenge novel.
There you go.
I'm already into it.
Yeah, post-apocalyptic revenge. When's the movie coming out, Sam? That's all we want.
I don't know. I mean, I may have already gotten the pilot script for a TV adaptation, but
nice.
If you need any kind of help with that, let me know. I'd love to be a part of it.
Yeah. You need a big guy to get killed in your movie too. Let me know.
I'll get killed in any movie. That's like my bucket list. Yeah. Kill me brutally, please.
Brutally. But I'm gonna do this next time. I'm gonna get that scene from Armageddon where the guy turns around and tells his wife, "Get the book! Get the book. Get the book. I'm gonna have that saved in StreamYard to help plug everybody's books that shows up and has books. So
You just gave me my next idea for my
You
underrated
give me
movie.
5 seconds. I'll grab a copy of it.
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, yes,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
I want to see it. I really do. Yeah, Armageddon. I think Armageddon's underrated.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we lost Samurai.
We lost Samurai. Oh no.
We lost the dude.
How did we lose?
Oh,
back,
there
I'm
he
back.
is.
I'm back.
Like, what do we do? It's his show.
If I remove myself, it's for a reason.
Okay.
Hold on.
Start talking shit
There
real
we
quick. Demonetized.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
The Fall of Polite.
hang on. I want to write that down. The Fall of Polite.
Yes.
Okay.
How
There we
awesome
go.
is that, man? You got your own book out there published. How cool is that?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy that.
It's been really great hearing people's thoughts on it and whatnot. If anyone does check it out, definitely let me know what you think. You can leave an Amazon review. It's on Goodreads too if you use that.
Hell
So,
yeah, man.
I just got done writing my first movie script, and it's a short. And if I shot it the way it is right now, it'd only be 20 to 30 minutes long. And I thought that was a lot of work, so I couldn't imagine writing a full book, dude.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
It's a pretty thick,
oh,
meaty
thanks,
book, too.
It is. That's what I was like.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's kind of big, I guess.
Is the Cliff
So-
Notes coming out? You getting Cliff Notes?
I would be very curious to read Cliff Notes out of this.
Some
movie.
samurai
my-
guy got through high school, baby.
Yeah.
Can my
Cliff
son
Notes,
get?
baby.
I want to know if my son can get AR points. Okay. If he reads
AR
this book.
points. Are you gonna have an audio version of the book?
People keep asking me about that, and I don't want to commit to one, but it's something I'm kind of working on a little bit,
Cool.
but not as like a
That would
focus.
be awesome.
Let me know.
I can't like officially announce it, but it's like it's on the back burner. It's not like
Okay,
out of the realm
okay,
of
okay.
possibility.
I think I know someone who would make a really good voiceover person. I'm just saying.
Hey.
I'm
I
just
mean, I'll
saying.
definitely reach out to you because
He's got the
I'm
voice.
kinda
I'll do
working
it.
on is assembling like a voice cast because I actually want to do it where it's not like one narrator. I kind of want to like voice cast it for like all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
let's go.
which is
Yeah,
part of
that's
what makes
good,
it
yeah.
a whole lot
That's-
more of a hassle though. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Well, hey, like I said, I'm not very good at that kind of thing. But if you need somebody, I'm more than game.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, I want to keep it very like low stakes, low pressure, So
Yeah.
No,
it'd
don't
be
worry.
nice and
Sam's
easy.
gonna be like, I remember you guys. You voted for Upgrade.
Yeah.
Contact me again.
He's gonna go through the comments. This person voted for hardcore. I'm gonna ask them to be
Sam-
in my.
Sam's gonna be like, yeah, you guys change the vote, re-upload it. You want to be part of it? But yeah, man. Any way we can help, Movie Dojo Army, let me know. Hit
Yep.
me up. If you need me to do some voice work or help advertise anything, let me know, brother, because we support you, and you got a great channel, my friend.
Yep.
That's
Yeah, I
right.
Yeah,
appreciate
for
that,
sure.
thanks.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Fat Samurai Guy's voice is chocolate butter.
And let's
I don't know
not
about
forget,
that, but okay.
let's not forget, everyone subscribe to Samurai and please give a donation to the Church of Samurai.
You gotta watch our
Are we
Raging
taking?
Fire
Are we
review to
taking
get that joke.
tithes? Are we taking tithes?
I
Tithes
got
and offering?
the collection book of plate around.
Yeah,
You
the
have a
collection.
plate.
You gotta watch the Raging Fire review to get
Give me
that.
the
But it was
plate.
really
Give me
funny.
the plate.
We talked about Upgrade today. Hardcore Henry is the shit. Oh my god, you gotta watch it. It was pretty ridiculous.
It was great. It was great.
They're clapping.
Yeah. It was great. I
Oh
watched
my
it. It was
God.
good. Yeah, definitely.
I'm
check
glad.
that
Hey,
out.
whatever makes you guys laugh. Oh my goodness.
He gave
Oh
us
my
a
god, dude, really? Oh my god. Sorry, hold on.
Thanks, man.
Wait a minute. Oh my god. Thank you. Mhm.
It
You
was,
know?
it was
Gotta
because
call
of the
out.
singing. It was all the singing.
Oh.
That's-
Thank you, AJ Mason. Ah! Oh my
Yeah,
god.
man,
you guys are
anytime
awesome.
I'm on here now, I'm just gonna say, give to the Church of Samurai.
That's it. I need some music. I need some.
That's so funny, dude.
Oh my god.
We can't.
All
I
right.
mean, I feel like we
We
can't
got-
quit now. He just gave $20. What do you want to talk about, guys?
This is a perfect way to end the stream.
Yeah.
All right, because I know Sam and you guys are busy. All right, you guys in the stream, don't go anywhere. Next week, busy week for the Samurai Guy. Versus might be put on hold until the week after. We'll see. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. But thanks for watching. and I'll see all you badasses next time. Go out there and buy you them Hardcore Henry Blu-rays, son, and some upgrades. All right, take care, guys.